All right, so we have full substitution. So we're going to solve it all the way through this time. So we have y equals some stuff, and then we have this other stuff, right? So see how this says y equals? So we're going to take this stuff and plug it in to where that y is. So what you want to do first is we're going to take this equation, drop it down. So we got 14x minus 2. We're going to replace the y. We're going to substitute that. So what we're going to do is put big parentheses first for that y, and then equals 1. The reason why we want to do the big parentheses before we plug it in is so that we don't forget this equals 1 part. Then I'm going to take that 7x minus 8 and plug it in. Now, all we do from here is solve, and we only have x's, so that's good. So what we're going to do is go through and solve. So I'm going to take -2 and distribute it into the parentheses. This leaves me with 14x minus 14x plus 16 equals 1. Then I see I have some like terms to combine, so I got 14x minus 14x. These eliminate or cancel out. Either way is good. All we're left with is 16 equals 1. So there are no variables here. So that means we're left with a false statement, which means it is a no solution. Or if you want to write it as no solution 2, that is fine. So that's the end of that problem, right? I can't do anything else because everything canceled out. All right, now we're left with this next problem here. So I got -3x plus 9y equals -42, and then I have x equals 3y plus 14. So this x equals some stuff. So I'm going to replace this x here. And what that means is I'm going to take this equation, I'm going to rewrite it, but instead of an x next to this -3, I'm going to put a big parentheses. And then we got plus 9y equals -42. And then I'm going to replace inside of the parentheses with that 3y plus 14. All right, from here I got only y's left, so that means I can do some solving, which is always good. So I'm going to distribute this -3. This gives me -9y minus 52 plus 9y equals that's a 42. Minus 42, this is why we use pencils in math class, equals -42. All right, so from here I can combine some like terms. I got a -9y plus 9y. Well, what happens is that makes 0, so we cancel those out. We never want to write 0y. You never want to write 0y or 0x. Never. It looks silly. It makes you look like a goof nugget. So we're left with -42 equals -42. So once again, we have no variables, right? All our letters are gone, but this is true, right? -42 does equal -42. So this is going to be infinitely many as your answer. This is like where your graph like overlaps. Or if you're Mr. Poskis' students, he writes as infinitely many solutions. I will take either of those answers if you're in Miss Robles' class. Both are good. So that's the end of that problem. That's really nice. Let's look at this next one here. So we have y equals -8x plus 19. Then we have y equals -7x plus 16. So both of these have y equivalent to some stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take one and replace that y with that other stuff. So I'm going to start it out. We're replacing here with -8x plus 19. And then we have equals -7x plus 16. Sorry, my camera is so shaky. So from here, I'm just gonna do some solving. I got a variable on both sides, so I'm going to add, I always like to go to the other side. So I got a plus 7x plus 7x. These guys cancel out. We are left with -1x plus 19 equals 16. I subtract 19 because it's a constant. These eliminate. We're left with negative 1x equals negative 3. Divide away negative 1 on both sides. Because it's a coefficient, we're left with x equals negative 3 divided by negative 1 is a positive 3. So we actually solved for a variable. So we got x equals 3. Now our solution is always going to be written as x comma y. So my x value in this case is 3. Now I need to figure out y. So I can use either of these two equations. And you know what? I'm just going to pick the bottom one. It doesn't really matter which one you use. So I'm going to reuse that equation. We got y equals negative 7x plus 16. But I know that x is 3. I know that. We figured that out. We did that down here. So when I do this, I'm going to bring it down. Y equals, I got negative 7 times 3, because negative 7x means negative 7 times x. Keep that multiplication. Oops, it's a positive 3, Miss Rowell. Keep that going, plus 16. And then I'm going to do some mathy math stuff. So negative 7 times 3, this leaves me with y equals negative 21 plus 16. Add those together because they are like terms. They're both constant. This gives me y equals negative 5. So, bada boom. We have a negative 5 for our y. So my final answer is 3 comma negative 5. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it.